Hi guys, Paul here,
Steve.
and Michael.
Yep.
Here we go. 1985 year decade in review. Of course, we didn't bitch about the Toxic Avenger like you should have.
Yeah, for 84.
Well, it's a horror film because it came from New Jersey because New Jersey is horrific,
Terrifying.
and they should probably be all pretty much killed. So there you go.
Not the only good thing. Other than
Toxic
Kevin
is
Smith.
amazing, though. God
Yeah,
bless
I
her
remember.
coffin.
Well, I remember going to the ocean when I was a kid and coming out. There was needles in my legs. It's like, oh no.
It's not even a joke, too. I remember going to
it's
Kingsburg
really good.
Beach and there was heroin needles and tampons all over.
Oh, you know,
And
to
I'm
be
just
to
like,
be young again.
Oh.
1985, we have Cat's Eye, Day of the Dead, Fright Night, Ghoulies, Nail Gun Massacre, One Spittin', ? Reanimator, Return of the Living Dead, Silver Bullet, and The Stuff, and fuck.
There's once been a horror movie.
Well, if fucking Ghostbusters is a horror movie, so is One Spittin'.
I'll put Once Bitten as a horror movie.
Once Bitten is on the list. That's why there's a question mark next to it. Because
Ghostbusters,
Once Bitten is
it's got
not a horror
vampires.
film.
If you go to horror movies in 1984...
I would consider Dracula Dead and Loving It a horror film.
It is,
either,
yeah. It's got
a
Dracula in
vampire
it. Well,
movie.
if you guys, by the way, you guys classify movies, everything's a fucking horror movie.
Elmo's Great Adventure.
Yeah, he touches kids. It's definitely a horror
Horror
movie. Okay, so let's go. I'm having a fucking hard time now.
85 is a good year.
Yeah, I know.
85 is a
Shut
good
up.
It was a good year.
Solid.
I think I still picked the right film.
I think
Go
there's
for it.
nothing wrong with
Go
that.
ahead.
No, you go. You go. I did the last time.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
Go
you
for
go.
it. Go ahead.
I went with Return of the Living Dead.
You're such a poser.
I went with Return of the Living Dead. It was hard. It was a hard choice.
Hey, you know, I like when Casey
But-
gets naked. I have there's
but-
other Cases
but,
I want to see naked
you
too.
know, we
that's
touched-
a joke. Okay, go for it.
I mean, we touched on it a little bit when
It's John Russo.
we did the Russo.
Fucking
stuff,
John Russo, man.
And I love this movie. This is one of the movies that I can just put in. I love it on in the background.
It didn't
just,
age well.
It aged fine.
I
It
think
didn't age
I,
well. It's
for
very
me
dated.
personally, it was very
Oh,
dated,
yeah.
but it aged well.
I don't know.
It's
know.
It's
dated,
a
but
product
it
of the
aged
80s,
well.
Yeah.
man. It's a product of the
Yeah,
fucking 80s.
well, that's what I mean. It didn't age well because it is set in stone. You go right back
That's
to
what I want, though. If
1985.
I want to watch a movie that's 1980s,
Yeah.
that's my go-to.
From the music choices to the costuming,
Wasn't there Cramps in
effects.
there?
The
Yeah, they had
Cramps,
Cramps,
45 Graves.
Yeah,
TSOL
all that music I fucking hate.
is on there.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I was having a hard time because some of the other films.
There's so many good ones. Actually, it's stupid.
I really actually enjoyed Cat's Eye quite a
You
bit.
just watched Cat's Eye.
I just watched Cat's Eye the other night again.
I'm
One of the few Stephen King movies that's actually enjoyable.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm actually got.
I
got
like One
problems.
Spittin', though I do not consider it a horror film, but I do enjoy One Spittin'.
He did fuck in a casket, and that's
He
pretty
did.
spooky.
He did lose his virginity in a casket.
My thing is
I
like,
just got that on
where do you
VHS.
have the room to move? I mean, you have
You
to get.
don't.
I have to get one of those.
But he was a
Yokozuna
virgin,
caskets.
so I imagine he probably didn't do much moving before he actually.
Done.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, that's how I usually do it.
The Fright Night's on there. What's some of the what was that list again? It was.
It's Cat's Eye, Day of the Dead,
Day of the Dead.
Fright Night, Ghoulies, Nail Gun Massacre, Once Bitten, Reanimator, Return of the Living
Reanimator,
Dead,
that's
Silver
one of the ones
Bullet,
I wanted
and
to
The
talk about.
Stuff,
Reanimator.
to name a few.
Yeah, Reanimator was really high up there on my list.
Reanimator was fantastic, yeah.
Reanimator.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you
but
picked.
But I went with my standby
Yeah.
for 1985,
Right,
which is
no,
Return,
that's
because
fine,
it's,
yeah.
for me it's just I love it.
And you, Josh?
Gotta mirror it.
Mirror it, my man.
Return of the Living Dead for
You
me,
guys
man.
are fucking stupid.
No, man. Like he said, it's a product of the 80s. It is literally
There
the
are-
quintessential zombie movie of the 80s.
Well, keep talking about it. Yeah, what? Sell me on this.
What's okay? So let's other than you got John Russo and
Yeah.
Dan O'Bannon and
Right.
all those major hitters involved.
Mhm.
Okay, you have a killer soundtrack, which I know it's not shit you fucking listen to because you have no taste,
All right.
or you have one-sided taste, I should say.
I'm multi-sided of shit.
Okay, but you have amazing special effects
Yeah.
for the era.
Yeah.
You have funny shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's comedy involved.
The
There's
one-liners are
the
fantastic.
one-liners, and then the most important part of the whole movie is Tarman.
Tarman.
I mean, have
Yes.
Tarman tattooed on me.
Yes, you do.
Like, he.
It's not. It's Return of the Living Dead.
When you the very like
It's
like
Return of the Living Dead.
Which
Oh
we're
my
gonna go to
God.
the reunion.
I'm so
Yeah, you better have that hotel
I'm
booked.
so excited.
motherfucker.
Everything's taken care of.
it's just a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it is, like you said, a movie you can just put on and just.
So we got the second time someone
Yeah,
agreed with
someone
somebody
agreed,
tonight.
yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And I guess mine doesn't count because it's not Return of the Living
Still
Dead.
counts, so
Yeah, it's
because there's
not.
some good movies in
There are three films I would consider top for 1985.
Okay.
Day of the Dead, Romero. Because zombies don't run. Fucking assholes. And then
But they
you
talk.
have
Shave.
Silver Bullet, one of my favorite Stephen
Silver
King.
Bullet
I
is
know you're a
good.
Silver Bullet
It is
fan.
my number 2 werewolf movie, though. It's my number 2
2.
werewolf. And then my choice, which is my top vampire film, is Fright Night. Fright Night is definitely my 1985 pick.
Fright Night.
It is a film that I will never not enjoy. I watch ridiculously too much. I have the soundtrack. Everything's fucking great. I love everything about the movie. I like the soundtrack. I like the actors. I met the actors too, which was great. I didn't read Roddy Down, sadly. But
fond memories in Fright Night.
Yeah, Fright Night. It's fucking
the
Fright
mouth
Night.
open that when she turns.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
and
the
when you
first time I
actually
saw
see
that,
Amanda, when you see Amanda Beale hot, you don't know what to
Yeah.
do. I go, I didn't know you were hot. You're hot. Look at you.
You're hot. What the
Man,
fuck?
what the hell? When she had the long hair and stuff, and I'm like, why are you hot? Like, what happened? At
not
what
to be
point in time did
confused
this
with the
happen?
remake of Fright Night.
No, we're not talking about that fucking train wreck.
That's
Fuck that
fucking
Irish piece of shit.
terrible.
Anyway, but it's just Fright Night is everything I want in a film. It's fucking fantastic. Which is weird because I actually have like backstories between that person I dated for a while with Fright Night, with Ghostbusters, with because the people that were pretty weird, huh?
All right.
But because she used to go to the Jerry Lewis telethons
Yeah.
or whatever at that studio where Roddy McDowell walks out of.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? That kind of thing. Of course, the mother and father in the other one. But it was pretty interesting.
I'm surprised you don't have Reanimator on that list.
No,
No,
because it pales in comparison to the story.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fair.
I have that as a notable mention.
Yeah.
Because I mean, realistically, it's a great film.
I've just
But
realized that
after I've read the book, I mean, the book is 1,000 times better than the movie.
the more I watch 80s films and the more I really see what's going on, Barbara Crampton is just another version of Linnea Quigley. She's only her because she took her clothes off a lot. I didn't really think of Barbara Crampton like that until I really started watching her films in like a collective order. I went, you get naked in everything you do. Or you get in some weird slutty costume where you're half dressed or I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, wow. Like, I was like, Barbara Crampton. Now it's like, Barbara Crampton. Like, okay, maybe your acting isn't that great. You're just there
She's
because
gotten naked.
you got naked. You know what I mean? Like, Linnea Quigley's acting is not the greatest in the world, but she was definitely nude every time. And I'm like, hey, look at you. You know, but I always thought Barbara Crampton was she was hired on her merit when I was like, maybe it wasn't that. But and then Kelly never got naked. I don't think anything she ever did. So it's like, hey, there you go. I'm not saying she was fucking fantastic either, though. So we have Return of the Living Dead, and Fright Night.
I think Fright Night's a good
Because
choice.
Fright Night is the best vampire
Fright Night's
film.
a good choice.
Absolutely.
Friday's good.
And because we're going to be talking a little bit more later in 1987 about how films are okay, but they're not fucking great. And how other films still are better, you know.
Can we talk about, take a minute and talk about Ghoulies?
Let's talk about Ghoulies
I'm
for a
okay.
second.
I'm okay.
Because
with talking
Ghoulies
about
was
Ghoulies.
another one of those movie covers as a kid. I walked in the
Yep.
rental place
Very
and just saw a
stuck
monster
out.
hanging out of the toilet, and I was afraid to sit on the shitter for a long time.
I never used
Ghoulies.
toilets growing up.
You hovered?
No, I just put it in a bag and wore it later.
Oh, I just hovered.
Oh, you're a hoverer?
I was a hoverer for years because of that movie, and it's a great movie.
What about Porky's when the fucking snake comes
Oh,
out?
yeah.
That's enough.
And another great horror film. I don't know who here's seen it, but I know Paul's probably seen it. Is Demons.
Demons, of course.
Fucking
Bava.
love Demons.
Got a Bava in, baby.
Bava, and
Yeah.
that was almost my pick.
You got Bava, and then of course at the end you have Michelle Sauvat.
Yeah.
You know, Sylvie.
Nothing I love more than when they're all coming out of the subway with the glowing
Yeah.
eyes. I fucking
Demons
love
2 is good that too, yeah, but the Demons
I've
1
never seen Demons 2
Yeah,
yet.
it's alright. Demons 1 is better. I like the church a lot because of that too.
Yeah.
Just different fucking atmospheres.
Yep. That was almost my first pick, but I'm like, for something about Return is just there more for me.
You know, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
return. Yeah, it's very entertaining. You know, and that's where you really get the brains.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
where
where
the
the brain thing
yeah, the brain
really
came in.
hits.
Right.
Yeah,
Now, not to, because obviously it's my favorite film from that year,
right.
and I don't mean to talk shit, but it also did spawn a pseudo downward spiral.
Well, that's
for
what I mean.
a
That's
branch
the
of
thing. It
zombie
sucks.
stuff.
Like, you know, that film basically made every other shitty film.
Well, it
exist.
was like
It's a
we have a
trash
new idea. Let's try this approach with zombies.
Yeah.
Awesome, cool, like not done before. This is like new and it's
Mhm.
awesome. And then it spawned all the stuff
Yeah.
that it. I'm sure
Unfortunately,
was
it became a
influenced
bastard
by it.
child eventually. But
Yeah, no, it did.
But for me, it's still.
It would be nice if they made Return of the Living Dead and then no one ever made a zombie film later. Basically,
We're just stuck with the Romero.
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, the trope Romero thing.
Yeah, let's just keep.
But yeah, no, there was definitely a lot that happened because it was an important film because it affected so many other films later.
Yeah, I think it was a very important
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, but that's for your picks for 1985. I don't really have too much to bitch about. I'm pissed off that I didn't pick Silver Bullet, but then when I really think about it, because it's not my favorite werewolf film, but Fright Night is my favorite vampire film. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, Silver Bullet has to be my favorite Stephen King book and film.
As far as werewolf movies go, it's one of the best.
It
I
is,
will say
yeah.
that. It's not my favorite.
And
Stephen
Everett
King
McGill
film,
is
but
fantastic in it. Everybody's fantastic in it. You know, it's pretty good.
Gary Busey.
I got Willie in it.
Busey.
I love the fact that you had Willie from Dawn of the Dead being a
Mhm.
racist bastard, and I was like, wait a second, that's Willie! Oh fuck yeah! I was so excited. Tamara!
I'm happy with anything with the
Goddamn
Busey in it.
cripples.
If it's either got Gary or Jake Busey, I'm pretty happy with the
You're pretty
movie
much
usually.
happy with what's going on, yeah. That's pretty nice.
I wish I had Gary Busey's mouth.
Day of the Dead is my least favorite Romero of the original three. So obviously,
Love the opening though.
No, the opening's pretty good.
Love
The
the
dead
opening.
dead walk, and
Yeah.
you can see the alligator's mouth taped up. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And then it goes into M1A1 by the Gorillas.
And of course, Nail Gun Massacre is definitely not something that we're going to talk about.
Do you like Nail Gun Massacre?
It is funny, but the thing is, it's like like
Massacre.
it's
man.
like that nail gun has a hell of a reach.
It's-
You know.
What is this, Lethal Weapon?
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, that's pretty much 1985. We got 2 for Return of the Dead, and I'm picking Fright Night because it's just class, pure class,
I'm happy with them.
and there's some tits.
I'm happy with them. I'm happy with them.
There's tits in all of them, so
I'm
it's
doing
good.
1986 next day.
1986 is coming up, and again, a very popular film that's basically a slasher film in space. So at least it does classify as a horror film. So that's good. Unlike most of your other picks. So anyway, the Paul,
I'm Josh.
And Mike.
Mike, and Brian, and Peter, and Kevin,
Chris.
See you,
and
Paul,
we'll
later.
see you later.
Oh.
Bye bye.